Hello everyone, I'm Arseniy Bapanov and you are in ICT course. Today we talk about architecture of computer systems. What is an information system? Information systems are a combination of hardware, software and telecommunication networks that people build and use to collect, create and distribute useful data. The components of information systems are hardware, software, data, people, process. Hardware. Information systems hardware is a part of information systems you can touch the physical component of technology. Computer, keyboards, disk drivers, iPads and flash drivers are all examples of information systems hardware. Software. Software is a set of instructions that tells the hardware what to do. Software is not tangible. It cannot be touched. When programmers create software programs, what they are really doing is simply typing out list of instructions that tells hardware what to do. There are several categories of software, with the two main categories being operating system software, which makes to hardware useful, and application software, which does something useful. Examples of operating systems include Microsoft Windows on a personal computer and Google Android on a mobile phone. Examples of application software are Microsoft Excel and Angry Birds. Data. You can think of the data as a collection of facts. For example, your street address, the city you live in, and your phone number are all pieces of data. Like software, data is also intangible. By themselves, pieces of data are not really very useful, but aggregated, indexed and organized into a database, data can become a powerful tool for business. People. When thinking about information systems, it's easy to get focused on the technology components that forget that we must look beyond these tools to fully understand how they integrate into an organization. A focus on the people involved in information system is the next step. For the frontline help desk workers to system analytics to programmers all the way to their chief of information officer, the people involved with information systems are an essential element that must not be overlooked. Process. The last component of information systems is process. A process is a series of steps undertaken, achieved and desired outcome or goal. Information systems are becoming more and more integrated with organizational processes, bringing more productivity and better control to the process. But simply automating activities using technology is not enough. Business looking to effectively utilize information systems do more. Using technology to manage and improve processes both within company and externally with suppliers and customers is the ultimate goal. Hardware. A start above computer hardware encompasses digital devices that you can physically touch. This includes devices such as the following: desktop computers, laptop computers, mobile phones, tablet computers, e-readers, storage devices such as flash drivers, input devices such as keyboard and mice and scanners, output devices such as printers and speakers. Tour of PC. All the personal computers consist of same basic components: a CPU, memory, motherboard, storage, and input-output devices. It also turned out that almost every digital devices use the same offset of components. So examining the personal computer will give the insight into the structure of variety of digital devices. So let's take a tour of a personal computer and see what makes them function. Processing data. The CPU. As stated above, most computer devices has a similar architecture. The core of this architecture is the Central Processing Unit, or CPU. The CPU can be true as the brains of the device. The CPU carries out the commands and sends it by the software and returns results to be acted upon. The earliest CPU were large circuit boards with limited functionality. Today, CPU is generally on one chip and can perform a large variety of functions. There are two primary manufacturers of CPU personal computers: Intel and AMD Advanced Micro Devices. The speed clock time of CPU is a measure in Hertz. Motherboard. Motherboard is the main circuit board of the computer. The CPU, memory and storage components among the things all connected into the motherboard. Motherboards come in different shapes and size depending upon how compact and expandable the computer is designed to be. Most modern motherboards have many integrated components such as a video and sound processing, which used to require separate components. Random access memory. When a computer starts up, it begins to load information from the hard disk into its working memory. This memory called random access memory and can transfer data much faster than the hard disk. Any program that you are running on the computer is loaded into random access memory for processing. In the order for a computer to work effectively, some minimal amount of random access memory must be installed. In most cases, adding more RAM will allow the computer to run faster. When the computer is turned off, any data stored in random access memory is lost. Hard disk. While the RAM is used as working memory, the computer also needs place to store data for longer term. Most of today's personal computers use a hard disk for long-term data storage. A hard disk is where data is stored when the computer is turned off and where it is retrieved from when the computer is turned on. Why is called a hard disk? A hard disk consists of the stack of disks inside a hard metal case. A relatively new component became more common in some personal computers is the solid data drivers, SSD. The SSD performs the same function as a hard disk long-term storage. Instead of spinning disks, the SSD uses flash memory, which is much faster. Structure of a personal computer: CPU, memory, video controller, keyboard controller, disk controller, and hard disk controller are connected to system bus. Input devices. All personal computers need components that allow the user to input data. Early computers used simply a keyboard to allow the user to enter data or select an item from the menu to run a program. With the advent of the graphical user interface, the mouse became a standard component of the computer. These two components are still the primary input devices to personal computers, though variations of each have been introduced with varying levels of success over the year. For example, many new devices now use a touch screen as primary ways of entering data. Besides the keyboards and mouse, additional input devices are becoming more common. Scanners allow users input document into a computer as an image or as text. Microphones can be used to record audio or give voice commands. Webcam and other types of video cameras can be used to record video or participate in the video chat session. Output devices. Output devices are essential as well. The most important output device is a display, visually representing the state of a computer. In some cases, a personal computer can support multiple displays or be connected to large format displays such as a projector and large screen television. Besides displays, other input devices include speakers for audio output and printers for printed output. The second component of information systems is software. Simply put, software is a set of instructions that tells hardware what to do. Software is created through the process of programming. Without software, the hardware would not be functional. Software can be broadly divided into two categories: operating systems and application software. Operating systems manage the hardware and create the interface between the hardware and the user. Application software is the category of programs that do something useful for the user. Operating systems. An operating system, or OS, is a software program that enables the computer hardware to communicate and operate with the computer software. Without a computer operating system, a computer and software programs would be useless. When the computer first introduced, the users interacted with using a command line interface, which required commands. Today, almost every computer is using a graphical user interface, operating system that is much easier to use and operate. Examples of operating systems: Microsoft Windows 10, Apple Mac OS, Ubuntu Linux, Google Android, and iOS. If you were break up the different types of companies into categories, the most popular operating systems to each category is the follows. Windows 7 is the most popular operating system for desktop and laptop computers. Android is the most popular smartphone operating systems. Linux is the most popular operating systems on other web servers and supercomputers. Application software. The second major category of software is application software. Application software is essential software that allows the user to accomplish some goal or purpose. Data. Data are the raw bits and pieces of information with no context. If I told you 15, 23, 14, 85, you would not have learned anything, but I will have given you data. Data can be quantitative and qualitative. Quantitative data is numeric, the result of the measurement, count, or some other mathematical calculation. Qualitative data is descriptive. Ruby red, the color of the Ford Focus, an example of qualitative data. A number can be qualitative too. If I tell you my favorite number is 5, that is qualitative data because it describes not the result of the measurement or mathematical calculation. Examples of data. Almost all software programs require data to anything useful. For example, if you are editing a document in the word processor such as Microsoft Word, the document you are working on is a data. The word processing software can manipulate the data, create a new document, duplicate a document, or modify a document. Some other examples of data are an MP3 music file, a video file, a spreadsheet, a web page, and e-book.